nobody's judging you, and if they are, don't talk to them. They can go about their own business. You know, have a good time with it and learn from whatever's happening. Even if you totally mess it up. I had my completely hand-stripped show schnauzer in the competition ring in the top division in the country, and I went into pet mode and started cutting her legs off. And, you know, I paid $50 for the competition. I'm in the top in the country, and I still messed up that day. It is what it is. I learned to refocus and pay attention and do my thing. Oh, cool.
I have mine if you want.
Oh, awesome.
Sample certificate sheets of what.
Yeah.
Because those are all my notes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, we can. Can you make some copies of those? Just run some copies, and then Erica can show them to her new people too. Her
Yeah,
new
so you
people.
get these sheets that list. And so you're mobile now.
Yep.
Been for a while.
Yep.
Are you
I
taking
went
new clients?
I went mobile in 2010. I'm not taking any new clients. I booked out for a year.
Okay. Well, we love it when you send clients our way.
I send them all to you.
All the time.
I ask them where they're located and if they're within these areas. If they're, you know, Hidden Hills, up to you. I send them to you. If they're at the beach, I send them to Andrea. You know, I try to give people referrals, and if they definitely want mobile, I send them to Carrie, Barking Bella. You know, I can't. I don't take big dogs, and I don't take cats.
Okay, and it's also nice whenever we're able to send you photographs because you're available to draw on them, critique them.
Erica, and I literally had to start uploading photos onto my Amazon account because I have photos from people all over the country, profile photos of their dogs and headshots and all that for me to draw on and send back to them, and I do that just because I enjoy helping.
Just a dog in the shop someday and send it over.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're starting to do online competitions like that now too. You have to take pictures from every angle, and you have to do it in a certain period of time and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and I would just, you know, and I had a girl come, as a matter of fact, right before I saw Bree last time. She came with her RV. She was on her way to the Tallahassee shows with her miniature poodles, and she stopped in and stayed over, and I gave her a lesson on her puppy cut. So, you know, it's all kinds of breeds, and it's all over, and it's, you know, it's a lot of fun, and I get pictures from Erica and them all the time. No, you sent me something. Well, I think you guys did Ralphie last time, but there's been a couple times where they've had, you know, new breeds.
Some new breed that we
Some new breeds or whatever, and I'm like, well, this is what I do know. The rest of it, I can't help you, because there are some breeds that I've never come across either. So,
but you have the resources to know where to look up, and you've sent us some
we can start finding them, and hopefully next class I'm going to have a Bedlington. So their younger one that lives down towards St. Augustine, she drives all the way up and meets me at one of my other clients on Palm Valley Road. And she said that I could probably borrow her whenever. So I'm thinking we'll bring the
That's a long-legged terrier.
That's a long-legged terrier.
Scissored.
And it's scissored, and it's a breed that a lot of us don't come across. And when we do, we're like, oh crap, what do I do with this? I can look at pictures, but I don't have an idea. I mean, I've had them come to me and they look like dinosaurs, where they're like, you know, and there's like all this crazy stuff going on, just people trying, you know. And I mean, I realize the dog has to be groomed, but if you really don't know what you're doing, you know, don't do it. I've picked up multiple Bedlington clients over the years because I taught myself to do it on one of my poodles. I had no Bedlington clients, but I taught myself the pattern and little jingle.
Yeah. Oh, I bet that.
Yeah, he was one of my best in show winners. It took me years and years to get it right, but yeah, he was all of 3.5, 4 pounds, and you turned him into a Bedlington Terrier.
So this is a Bedlington Terrier. Lamb-like? What do they call the breed?
They call them, yeah. I mean, they look like a lamb or a sheep, or, you know.
Oh, yeah, sheep. With the tassel ears and the rat tail and the, yeah. So last question for now. What's your favorite part about dog grooming? Why do you keep doing it?
Why do I keep doing it?
Why do you love it?
One, I've always loved dogs. And that's, you know, the first beginning of it. But the second thing is I love seeing the look on the face of the owner when they get what they want. And if they don't get what they want and they're not happy with me, then, you know, I send them somewhere that I can. But I think some of the best things in the world is like this guy. I'm glad we're standing here talking because he was nervous, and you've noticed he's not panting. And even though I'm petting him, I'm not babying him, and I'm not telling him, oh, it's gonna be okay, you know, this kind of stuff. I'm just kind of letting him chill out and get used to it. He's only a year old, and he's only been groomed by me. I have photos of him this big, me holding him up to my face, because that's when I started grooming him, was 10 weeks old. So he's one of the most awesome Scotties I've ever groomed, because he's been my customer every 2 to 3 weeks since he was 8-10 weeks old. And then I like taking dogs, believe it or not, ones that have been, I don't know how to say this politically correct, but that have been either rushed through the grooming process at minimum, or they've been abused during grooming, and turning them into dogs that may not necessarily like to be groomed, but they love me, and I can get them through it. And it becomes less of a stressful process for. I have multiple dogs like that in my mobile in particular. I used to have them in my shop too, because I do them first thing in the morning and get them out before everybody else. But that's a joy to me to see those dogs settle and be easier to groom for them and for me. That's one of the most rewarding things. That, and you know, like the before and after stuff, because it's just, you can see the difference in the dog. It's almost, a lot of it's like art. You know, with poodles you can do whatever you want, but learning the patterns and sending this, like this dog in particular, his dad was so funny. He's like, don't forget his eyebrows. Don't forget, because, you know, they used to take their other two to the groomer and they'd chop them all off and make them look like a schnauzer. And so when he was growing in, I'm like, Brooke, it's gotta grow. Relax, I'm not cutting it.
So they're supposed to be longer than a schnauzer's brows?
Yeah.
Almost to the nose?
Mm-hmm.
Or to the nose?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a Scotty. And ideally they'd be hand stripped?
Ideally they'd be hand stripped. Now this dog could be hand stripped. If you guys want to come up and touch his coat, it's not been stripped, other than just parting it out a little bit. But if you want to come and touch it, you can feel the coarse density. It could be stripped for sure. Yeah, he's clippered. Yeah. It could still be stripped out if I wanted to, but I've cut back on that as well. My hands are really starting to bother me as I get older, and I'm not starting any new ones. I still have a Norfolk that is. They're actually moving down to the villages near Gainesville, and I've referred them to my friend Vanessa down there. And then I still have a German wire hair pointer. And after the Norfolk goes, I'll have the new German wire hair, just because I love her and they're really easy to strip. Their hair just like falls out when you do it regularly, so it's not as much of a deal. But other than that, I'm not taking. And
this one, because they're not showing him, they don't care if he's clippered.
No, they don't care. But he's a good example of you being able to show it how it looks like that without making it too short. So what I do on his body and his neck and all of that stuff is not set in stone, okay? It is just how I do my pet trims to make them look like they have more coat, like they have more of a hand strip type of a look. The pattern's exactly the same. On most of the short-legged terriers, when you're clipping things on their beak, you clip the ears and you can clip the cheeks. They usually strip the top of the head, the neck, and the whole body pattern, and the tail. Everything else gets thinning sheared or trimmed or whatever. And sometimes they'll pull furnishings a little bit to make them denser or coarser or what have you. And I've not actually shown Scotties, so I'm not positive what they do with their furnishings. If I remember correctly, I think Scott told me that at one point that they pull furnishings as well, like they do on the wire fox terriers. But it is definitely doable to groom these guys in the correct pattern for your pet clients and make it look stripped. So even if you get, your typical pet client that wants a 5 or a 7 or whatever on their back, that's fine. You can do that. And you can still make it look the correct pattern. I just like, and they also like.